Hey guys, welcome back to our Mary Street studio project. Yesterday was the first official day of fall, so the weather's starting to cool down. Fortunately, things are starting to warm up here. We've made some great progress since you've been here last. We've detailed the air barrier on the outside, so we're gift wrapped nice and tight. We've also got our 3 inches of rock wool insulation on the exterior. We've got the standing seam metal roof installed, which looks great. We've also got some mechanical started off on the inside as well as some insulation. So let's take a closer look at some of these details and dive into that. Alright guys, so we're around the back side of the studio here. I just wanted to show you how some of this assembly breaks down. So just on top of our plywood sheeting, we have what you've heard me talk about a few times now, our air barrier and our weather resistant barrier. So this is a Proclima product. This is the Mento 1000, and this has been detailed with extreme care. So every fastener is actually protruding through a piece of tape. The reason being is that tape is actually going to seal that fastener for additional air tightness. All seams have been taped. Any transitions have been taped as well. So we're actually using the tape as our flashing at the base of our wall, just to push any water that does get back here. Instead of going down between the foundation and the rigid foam, it's actually going to have this kick out flashing, which will shoot it out over top of our foam. On top of that, we have our 3 inches of Rockwool IS 110. So that's a rigid board insulation. That's our thermal control layer, so that's going to keep the building nice and warm. And then as we start our mechanicals, we're going to start having some of these different utilities popping through the air barrier. So what we do is we very carefully drill an individual hole for every wire, pipe, you name it, that's coming through this air barrier, and that's going to get detailed very carefully to be sealed around each individual utility that comes through. Alright guys, so we're inside of our studio. It's only 350 square feet, so all our mechanical is sort of housed in this small 7-foot by 8-foot bathroom / utility closet. So our HVAC contractor, Mike from Cornerstone Trades, has been in here the past few days. He's installed our ERV unit. He's also installed the ducted mini split, which is going to be powered by the little air source heat pump, which is just outside the building. So this ERV is going to be providing this studio with a constant supply of fresh air. So if you're in a newer home, you probably saw this hanging in your mechanical room next to your furnace. This is a critical component of a high performance building. When we wrap our building envelope so tight, we need to make sure that we're getting an adequate supply of fresh air. So that's what this guy does. It's going to make sure that we're constantly expelling stale air from areas like the bathroom or the kitchen and constantly supplying fresh air to the living spaces. So the primary mechanical for heat and cool in this building is going to be this small air source heat pump, which is going to be powering this ducted mini split. So this tiny little air handler is actually tucked up in the ceiling. You'll never see it. There'll be a couple small there'll be a small supply grill and a small return grill coming up through the top of this bathroom, and that's going to keep this both heated and cooled. In terms of the rest of the mechanical going on in here, we'll have our plumbing contractors in next week. They're going to be installing a wall-hung toilet. There will be a small shower here as well, and obviously a vanity. Being so compact, every inch counts, so we opted for wall-hung fixtures, a wall-hung toilet, a wall-hung vanity. And something else I actually forgot to mention is we had Jackson Custom Concrete in here a week ago. He polished this entire floor. We went ahead and protected it with our floor protection here. But what we were able to do was actually grind this shower floor down so that we have a totally seamless floor finish, which is actually has been grinded down so that the entire floor slopes to our shower drain. So it's going to be a really cool aesthetic. Up next we have, like I mentioned, plumbing, and then our electrical will go in. We've spent a little bit of time just taking an opportunity to install our insulation. Since we're installing a small service cavity, that actually allows us to insulate before we do our electrical. The advantages, of course, to a surface cavity is you're not going to have all the penetrations through your vapor barrier, which for us also serves as a secondary air barrier. So we really want to limit the number of holes that we poke through that membrane. Quite a bit of an update there. I hope you were able to keep up with it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on any particular detail I discussed. Lots of exciting events happening next week. We have our window delivery. Our windows are coming all the way from Poland, so that's always an exciting milestone to reach. So those will be getting delivered, they'll be getting installed, and I'll bring you guys back here next Friday and give you another update. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.